Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. Welcome to Flutterwave Grow My Business webinar. My name is Yewande Akomlafe Kalu, but you can call me Wendy. And today I'm very excited about our topic, which is Built to Last, about business sustainability. I'm just going to share my screen and then I'll do intros and then we can take it from there. So if this is your first time joining us, this is Flutterwave Grow My Business webinar. It's a twice monthly webinar workshop that we do with experts and speakers from basically all over the world now that discuss and talk about specific topics in business growth. So we have had speakers talk about managing finance in business. We have had speakers talk about market research. We've had speakers talk about marketing. We've had speakers talk about being able to adapt through a crisis and be able to, maintain business operations as well. And we've had speakers from South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Zambia, Uganda, so many places. I'm really excited about today's topic. So today's topic is business sustainability built to last, and we will be having Mrs. Hansatu Adegbite, who is the ED of Wimbiz in Nigeria, talking to us about business sustainability built to last. So I'm just going to go over house rules so you know how we're going to operate this, and then I will allow her to take it from here. So here's our agenda. I'm doing the quick introductions now, and then we're going to go on to the main topic, which is business sustainability built to last. And then we're going to go into, we're going to take about two questions from the audience, and then we'll go into the Flutterwave session, which will be hosted by Jola Ade Ogurano, who is the product manager for Flutterwave Store. And then we'll take another Q&A, where we will address some of your questions that you're going to be sending through. So here are the house rules. Just an introduction of our guest speaker. She's a United Kingdom certified trainer and an associate stress consultant in life coaching. And she has over 20 years of professional experience in banking, entrepreneurship, and team building consulting. So you already know that you're in for a treat today because she'll be sharing practical tips on how you can continue to sustain your business and build a sustainable business that even possibly outlives you. Like I said, she's the executive director of Women in Management, Business and Public Service, Wimbiz in Lagos, Nigeria. And so here are our house rules. The webinar is being recorded, and the whole purpose of us being recording this is so that if you miss out, if you have to leave, if you lose some information, you can access this via email, which will be sent out by Thursday. What we also do is upload it to our YouTube channel. So you can just go on YouTube if you want to see our previous webinars and type in Flutterwave and go to our Grow My Business webinar playlist. Alternatively, you can just type in Flutterwave Grow My Business and you will be able to see all the previous episodes and workshops that we have done. So like I said, we're going to be addressing questions, but there are two ways that there's one way that we want to do this. There's a Q&A function, as you should be able to see, and there's also a chat function that you should be able to see as well. You can use the chat function to basically interact with the speaker. Like right now, I'm going to tell you to just send a message into the chat saying hi, so that I can see how many people are paying attention to what we're saying. I'm just waiting for about 5 highs in the chat function so that we can take it from there. I'm saying them. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, great. So that is the chat function. So like I said, you can use that to, talk with others, respond to the speaker if you're asked to send something into the chat function. You can use that to send in comments that you want to send in. But for the Q&A section, we will only be addressing the questions in the Q&A section. So the reason for that is that it helps us to be able to quickly get to your questions and answer them as quickly as possible. So if you want to ask a question that you want to be answered, please use the Q&A function. Also, to just clarify, we will be addressing basically what we're talking about today. We may not be able to get to all questions. And also, if your question is maybe a little bit too specific that we need more information from you to be able to answer the question, we will ask that you send an email to hi@flutterwavego.com, or send a direct message to FLW support on Twitter for additional questions and issues. Those questions will get to us, and then we'll be able to answer it for you. I am done talking now, so I'm going to allow, thank you so much to everybody that said hi. I have way more than 5. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I'm going to pass us on to Mrs. Hansatu Adegbite so that she can take it from here.
Good morning, everybody. What a pleasure to be here. I think it's only Flutterwave that has the power to get me on a webinar on a Monday morning. So I just want to appreciate everybody for being here. I know that it will be a delightful learning experience from us. I'm just going to start sharing my screen now. Give me 1 second. Okay, it's up there now. And so our key learning outcomes for today, of course, defining sustainability, understanding its foundations, the key components, knowing more about the Sustainable Development Goals that were set by the United Nations, and understanding the relevance of the environment, social governance in building sustainable businesses. I think those are my key learning outcomes that I've highlighted, but I'm sure that each of us will have a lot more as we go along that are relevant to us as individuals. Okay, so sustainability. What exactly is sustainability? I know that we do have, if not because this is a webinar, I would have asked 1 or 2 people to sort of explain in their own terms what they think sustainability is. But of course, in the interest of time, I will define it, but I'm looking at maybe the 2 most striking definitions that I felt were relevant to this course. So it's actually the processes and the actions through which humankind avoids the depletion, very important, of natural resources in order to keep an ecological balance that doesn't allow the quality of life of modern societies to decrease. In layman's term, what we're just trying to say is that anything that we do as individuals or as even a nation or communities and all that, that helps to preserve our society, and all the activities that we do still makes it sane and of course relevant to be used over and over again. It also can be sustaining the underlying pattern of health, resilience, and adaptability that maintain this planet in a condition where life as a whole can flourish. So that means that really sustainability is more about preservation. And not just preservation, but preservation in a way that we can use things over and over again without the core of our environment and our people being diminished in any way. So there's always a cost and a price to everything that we do as human beings in production, as we run our businesses, in politics, and so on and so forth. So, but what we're trying to say is that how can we do that in such a way that we are ensuring that we are not draining the resources of our world, is that in a way that they can replenish themselves, and then we go from that. And so usually when we look at sustainability, it's looked at from 3 main pillars. And I have just, to make it easier for people to remember as an acronym, I've said, what do you see? And so we start with society. You see, sustainability really is about the people. You cannot build anything that has a sustainable structure if you are not thinking about the people, and the people are they should be the reason that you do things. Your society, your community, your locality should be the reason that things are done. And of course, when we're talking about business, most of the time businesses come up and CEOs and so on and so forth, and begin to develop products and services for people based on what they feel the needs are. But in doing that, sometimes we don't put a holistic approach and focus in place. When we're thinking about the people, we tend to think more about the things that work for us. And you find out that a lot of businesses, when they started, they had certain things they were thinking of, but over time they have evolved because of certain situations and conditions and problems that they identified in society that their businesses were not addressing. And we will see some examples of that as we move on. Also, economy. Sustainability, you can't think of sustainability without thinking of the economy, and not just about profit alone, but the economy holistically. So you look at your economy, you have your plans as businesses. We used last year as an example. So many businesses had already developed their budget the year before, and they were ready to roll out. But then, of course, COVID happened, and COVID sort of put everything on hold, and a lot of businesses had to go back to the drawing board. And going back to the drawing board, we worked on our budgets again in line with the current realities. And so sometimes it's not just about profit and just pushing it irrespective of who you are hurting, but it's also about looking at it holistically and making sure that your profit is not one that is affecting our people and our society and the environment holistically. And we see that in so many examples as it pertains to some of the forced labor that we see when we're in manufacturing and all that, garment industries worldwide, where they use child labor and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, even though the organizations are making profit, the issue is that at what cost to the society and the people and the economy as a whole. And then, of course, the environment now becomes a very critical aspect of sustainability. How are we preserving our environment in such a way that we're not destroying it to serve a few, and then in future, those things that we have done to our environment is gone. So I give you an example, like in the garment industry, we do have situations whereby a lot of the development, I mean, a lot of the farms, the type of toxic materials and waste that are used, and insecticides and all that chemicals that are used in like cotton farms to serve the fashion industry. You find out that in these farms, a lot of these toxic materials are affecting the soil. And as it's affecting the soil, it's depleting the soil that is useful. And we know that over time, before we know it, those grounds will be dead. And so it means that we are making profit, we are serving the people, but the planet is suffering for it. And so what we should be thinking of as businesses in that value chain is, what can we do to preserve the planet in such a way? What can we do differently in such a way that as we are producing all these products, we are not destroying our environment in such a way that in the long run, we can't use what we have been using in terms of production for a long time. And so I will also sort of highlight sustainable development from the United Nations point of view. And obviously, the United Nations did set up the Sustainable Development Goals. And the focus is obviously we should leave no one behind. There are 17 of them. I will highlight them quickly, but it's important for us to note that every single business must identify the sustainable development goals that are relevant to their businesses and find ways to inculcate them in their strategic planning and all. Now, you know, the topic I'm taking is business sustainability. So I'm not talking about how to start a business, how to raise a business and all that. I'm talking about the sustainability aspect of business as it pertains to what is happening in the world today, and the relevance of strategic planning. And you know, with strategy, you have a strategic plan as a business. But what you need to start doing is that you need to continue to review your strategy as the world develops. And there was a time that everybody just felt that, oh, you go to a store, you buy your products, you go home. But now, the way the world has moved, we're talking about, you don't have to move out of your comfort zone. All you have to do is go online, identify the products you want, pay for them on platforms like Flutterwave. And then when you pay for them, there are organizations that deliver to you, and you do it at the comfort of your living room or your office or wherever it is that you are ordering from. And so as we're advancing again, organizations have started looking at inculcating all manner of things that will make business easier and more sustainable in terms of being environmentally friendly. And at the same time, we're also looking at growth, a lot of where technology comes in and the growth processes for businesses, and just so many things are going on, even the mobile money, in fact, cashless economies and all that, and so on and so forth. So we are looking at it holistically, but when you look at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, what you should be looking at is what aspect of these goals is relevant to my business, and then how can I inculcate it in my strategic plans, and then you have to itemize what you want to do on the short term, mid-term, and long term. It's important for us, of course, we know that goal number one is about reducing poverty, but it's not just about reducing poverty. They want to eradicate poverty as a whole, and we have zero hunger. And so if you are in the agricultural value chain in terms of business, the food and beverage industry, and so on and so forth, how can you inculcate the SDG goal 2 into your business in such a way that you are reducing hunger? So I give you an example for those of you that have restaurants that are on the call. I do know that there are some restaurants that what they do is that every day they make sure that when they cook and at the end of the day they have either waste or they're not able to sell off the products. What they do is that typically they look at people in the environment that usually don't have access to food and feeding, and then they now feed them from that which would have been waste. And that way they are reducing hunger within their community. We have good health and well-being. In fact, a lot needs to be done around that. We know what it is without health, what is happening to in our communities. We can see what COVID has done and so many other underlying issues that are coming up, maternal health and so on and so forth. Quality education, your business, how can it address that? We see situations that are happening like in the Boko Haram states that where Boko Haram believes, for example, that the girl child should not be educated, that her place is not in the classroom. So the question is, what kind of thing can you do in your business if you are in the education sector or in the training and development sector? What can you do to ensure that there is education that is reaching a certain people, a set of people without risk to their livelihood, without all this kidnapping and torture and so on and so forth? What can you do? What problem can you solve? How can you do it? What do you need to do it? What are the resources? What are the platforms and so on and so forth? So what are you going to plan around an aspect of your business that can address this? We have gender equality, and I'll take that with also the goal 10. So goal 5 and 10, reduced inequalities. Your own business, how gender diverse is your business? What are the things you are putting into consideration? So for example, now we have so many things around gender procurement these days, gender investment, and just impact investment and so on and so forth. And some of the things they're looking at is, look, for gender equality, some of our businesses, how many people are ensuring that their procurement processes, a certain percentage of procurement goes to certain female-led businesses, male-led businesses, so that there's a balance that affects the economy. What businesses are addressing issues that are gender focused? So for example, now you have a business, you are developing products, but what products have you sort of carved out that are addressing maybe female consumers? What products are you bringing out that are solving problems, gender-related communities and so on and so forth? Clean water and sanitation. I don't want to go into the hazard and the complex situations that unclean water is causing to our nation and so on and so forth, and our communities. People are dying on a daily basis, health situations. What can we do? What can we inculcate in our businesses that address this? Affordable and clean energy. I mean, it goes on and on. We all know all the various things that are coming up, LPG and so many other things. Economies are looking at the best way to give us energy in such a way that we are not polluting the nation and our communities more. And you can see what is happening in the developed world. They are going into a lot of technological interventions just to ensure that there's clean energy now. So many people are looking at moving away from diesel and fuel and petrol and going into a lot more things around electric kind of technologies, and we're seeing all manner of capsules and things coming up. They're even talking about going outside the earth and going into space and all these. How else can we find a way to sustain and the whole? So it's not the world as a whole. What are the things we can do? And those are the kind that businesses are looking at. And so one of the things you cannot afford to do for yourself as a business owner now is to look at the myopic or the look around what you have now that is working for you, because what is working for you now may not be relevant in a few years to come. Decent work and economic growth. How are we finding ways that we can even build intrapreneurs within our entrepreneurship organizations? Because again, so an organization that maybe you design for various organizations, so that maybe a graphic kind of or graphics related kind of organization. What makes you feel that you cannot develop a model whereby you don't even have to employ graphic artists? You can have various graphic artists working for you as entrepreneurs within your organization. You are reducing your costs. You have various jobs. You give them, you deliver on various multiple jobs without you moving, without those other youth and women and all that, whatever it is they are employing moving. They are using their talent to contribute, and yet the structure is in such a way that it's not heavy on you as an SME. And you have industry innovations, infrastructure. We see what is happening a lot. In fact, COVID helped us even see more infrastructure that thought we needed to work was totally irrelevant. People were building structures that are costing them millions and billions of naira and dollars to maintain in a year, and they realized that, my God, everybody really can't work from home. And where people cannot work from home, and some people began to put the structures in place to make it easy to home. So what infrastructure can you think of that can be sustainable and can help your nation, your community? What innovations can a lot of innovative things are coming up. I mean, we see it every day, and people are innovating 10 years, 20 years in advance. People are researching and developing products that will come up maybe 20 years from now because they are thinking futuristically and holistically. So we also have to begin to think in that manner, no matter to think futuristically. Face a situation whereby that is so strong will die within a few years. And consumption and production, climate action, life below water, we see what areas, river state, and so many of and so on and so forth, how businesses have affected our river life underwater, dead, the communities are dying, people can't even drink water and all that. So solutions around that to destroy we've seen that in the oil and gas industry as communities. Then life on the line, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Of course, without your business, without peace, without justice, holding people accountable, what are the how accountable? We see situations of let me even say rape and sexual harassment and violence against women, girls, and gender-based violence and so on and so forth, wars, kidnappings, and all that. These things affect businesses. You cannot be running your business whereby people are not settled within the context of their economy. And of course, goal 17, which is the most important that a lot of people have realized now, is partnerships. There are a lot of collaborations going on now because it is collaboration that is keeping and sustaining businesses. And so really, business sustainability is also corporate sustainability. And it is the management and coordination of environmental, social, and financial demands. I hope I'm not too fast. I'm just conscious of time, and concerns to ensure responsible, ethical, and ongoing success. It's important for me to mention that when you talk about business sustainability, we are talking about our environmental, social, and governance factors, which is popularly known as ESG. And so when you look at your environmental factors as a business, you are looking at climate change, biodiversity. Biodiversity just means the variety of plants, animal life in the world and in their various habitats, and ensuring that everything is moving in such a way that it is operating on a high level, water efficiency, and so on and so forth. Our social aspects, looking at our people, and then governance, looking at all the things that fall around your governance. So let me talk a little about governance, and this is mainly for SMEs, because a lot of SMEs, when you start your business, it's me, myself, and I. It's me, myself, and my 9-month-old child. It's me, and myself, and my brother, and so on and so forth. You need to make sure that in everything you are doing in your governance structure, set up a structure based on those that will add value to your organization, and in terms of your board and corporate governance structure, first of all, so that they can add value and help you to scale up. A lot of us, our businesses die with us. A lot of us, the way our businesses are structured, it cannot be sustainable once we are not there. And so when you're looking at governance holistically, you need to put some of these things into consideration. So I want to talk on ESG a little bit more using a simple example so that we can see that. And sometimes when you see things graphically, it makes you understand more. So ESG, looking at the E, we're talking about our environment and our environmental factors. So what are some of the things you are putting into consideration? They talk about a lot about climate change. A lot of us, we don't even pay attention to it at all. We feel it's so far-fetched from us. But what it's saying is that, look, the world doesn't have enough water. The climates are changing. So many things are changing around us. And the world, as the way we're supposed to preserve it, it will not exist the way we have it now in a few years. So what can we do to preserve and ensure that these things that we need for our production, that we need for our economy, that we need to live with are in place? We look at our animal life. We know that animal life serves as food and so many other things. What are we doing at preservation to ensure that even in our farming plans and structure, we are ensuring that we are not killing more of our environment, more of our livestock, more of our natural resources in a bid to produce what we are producing at that time? How are we preserving natural resources? What are the innovations we're putting in place? Carbon emission. I can see people have raised their hands. I want to believe that I'm not supposed to take questions and answers now, but we'll do that at the end of this. I'm just running through just because I do have to cover this before we take questions and answers. How are we reducing air and water pollution, and so on and so forth. Then we talk about the social aspect, the social factors of sustainability, the impact on society and communities. I've been saying that over and over again. Health and safety. When you are providing services first for your employees, how safe is the environment, their work environment? How safe is everything they're doing in terms of the standards, health and safety and environmental standards? And then you now translate that into the communities that your businesses are operating. Are we putting health and safety into consideration in everything we do? These days, we do a lot of copying. So you see a product somewhere, you want to copy it from another country, but you don't take into consideration the things they put in that product to ensure that all these things are safe to use. So another thing is you look at your labor standards. Of course, we see what is happening worldwide with regards to child labor, sex trafficking, all manner of things that are really telling on our nations, on our communities. I saw just, I think, was it today or a few days ago, I was watching CNN and I've seen from their freedom in Congo, for example, how even children are out of school and just digging and looking for resources in the ground. So they are not labor standards. And then when we find that labor, we now find out that when we see what is happening to some of these businesses that are sort of growing, we realize that the children, the youth, the women that have labored to bring out these resources, they are going home with peanuts. They are still in poverty. And at the end of the day, even though the business is prospering, communities are going through more and more poverty because of this. So we need to ensure that it's not just about giving the right labor their resources, but it's also about the community. What are we doing for the community that is also helping these businesses to grow? Your privacy and data security. In fact, a lot of data laws have come up now. If you are an SMEs, we're fond of it. You are very careless with people's data. The way the world is now is for those that are educated and conversant, they can sue you at the click of the button for any violation on their data. And if you are not careful, you'll find that it will not only ruin you, but it will destroy your reputation. So a lot of us have to go and check what is applicable now in data laws, what we need to do. We need to go for trainings and so on and so forth. We even need to register at a time with NITDA. It is very expensive. NITDA is the Nigeria Information Technology Development Agency. You need to register if you are someone that deals with a lot of data, and you need to make sure that you are compliant in all these things. And then we look at governance, our governance structure, diversity and inclusion. A lot of noise is made around gender equality, having a diverse board, having a diverse management team, having a diverse workforce. Some of us take it seriously, some of us don't take it seriously. But a lot of research by the UN, by the World Bank, has actually proved that when you do have a diverse board and so on, what happens is that diversity helps not only with return on investment, but it also helps in decision making, because you are bringing two sets of thinking to the table from a male and female perspective. You're also looking at the fact that not only from a male and female perspective, you're also looking at the diversity of thoughts and experiences, and you'll be surprised to see how their input can grow your businesses beyond what you felt was even possible. And diversity also does ensure sustainability, that I can assure you of. Transparency, your board independence, and making sure that everything you do as a board is in line with corporate governance structures. I would encourage a lot of us on this call, especially SMEs, go for corporate governance training. Don't say I am just a small business. Save towards it. Look for opportunities where it's free. Go online, go on YouTube, study. There are a lot of organizations that do a lot of training on corporate governance, on boards. I know this is Flutterwave, but permit me to mention that, like, we do have the Institute of Directors. WIMBIS has a Women on Boards program and institute. We have trainings like that. I know a lot of other organizations. I think KPMG has a Women on Boards program, and so on and so forth. So you look out for some of these things, educate yourself, learn more about board structures, about even your ownership structure. What are the things you need to put in place? Have policies on ethics. As a business, small, medium, big, you must have policies in place. So all this is part of your governance. If you put your policies in place, have code of ethics and so on and so forth that guide not just you, but all your staff, and make sure that your staff understand what your policies are, review your policies often, read it, in fact, discuss it at your staff meetings so that you have enough. And then, of course, executive compensation means that we need to be careful. A lot of SMEs, as we make our money, we dip our hands inside we're making it, we're spending it. We don't have any form of control. We don't have things in place that sort of ensure that we are not abusing the money we're making. So all these things affect us as a business and make it not sustainable. So if you're always dipping into your profits, you know that you're already killing your business. And so there are a lot of movements now that have come up with regards to sustainability, recycling, waste minimization, clean production, zero emissions, and so on and so forth, corporate social responsibilities, creating share value, industrial ecology, a lot of them sustainable consumptions, and so on and so forth. Of course, I will explain some of these things if there are people that need that, but let me mention some of, let me mention and explain. I see raised hands. Showun, I can see I'm in trouble because I can see questions coming up. But there are a lot of movements that are coming up that will ensure business sustainability. These are some of the movements that are coming up, and they are concepts that a lot of us should study. I would advise you, if you can take a screenshot of this, you need to go online, study some of these things. I'm just saying that because in the best interest of time, I've seen that I think I'm almost overshooting. And during the question and answer session, if there are certain ones you want me to explain, I can do that. I will conclude with a quote and a proverb that says, "We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, but we simply borrow from it from our children." So a lot of us should realize that it's really about the future. We should be thinking futuristically. If not, we will realize that we won't even have a sustainable business that can serve even the future, because we have wasted a lot and are not looking at these key areas of relevance. And so I will want to thank you for listening. And at this point, I will hand over to the Flutterwave team to guide on the next step. So I'll stop sharing now, I believe, so that...
Fine. Thank you so much. This was very impactful. We've seen a lot of comments from people saying this was very impactful, very important for businesses to be thinking about sustainability for the business specifically, but beyond the business as well, because we are all making an impact in the world. We're making an impact on the environment, and we have to be thinking about these things. We can't say that we're small businesses and so it's none of our business. Thank you so much. That was very, very insightful. So I'm just going to take one question, and then from that, we'll move from after the question, we'll move on to the next one, which is going to be Jola's session. So this question, it says, how can business sustainability be enhanced in a disenabling environment like ours?
You need to start a step at a time. You know, there is nothing in this life that you want to do that you do holistically. You need to, first of all, look at what are the key things that can work for you. You can't solve all, but what are the key things that will work for you as a business? You first identify them, then you break them down. We know that there are a lot of issues generally in our society. So obviously, there are a lot of challenges as it pertains to that, but you first have to identify. First of all, look at everything holistically, and I'll use that so let me look at something like if a cotton farmer, just like I said earlier on, and I said a cotton farmer can build that serves the fashion industry. I talked about the fact that a cotton farmer, there are toxic chemicals, there are pesticides that are used, soil is being destroyed and is reducing our land use. There are water challenges, manpower, we are abusing labor. There's a lot of textile waste that is avoiding and destroying our environment, and so on and so forth. So in the entire fashion value chain, there is that from the foundation, that is from the production stage, there is this challenge. So if I want to now be a bit more sustainable as a business in an environment like our own, the first thing we need to look at is what are some of the things that we can put in place in terms of materials that are not toxic. So you can begin to research, if I'm in that field, to say, look, what are some of the things that I can use? What are some of our natural pesticides and this and that I can put in place? And there are a lot of things that people are discovering now from natural resources, from even ways like skins of even fruits and all that, that can actually serve to reduce the type of toxic chemicals that we're using in our farming. And then so if I begin to put using less toxic materials in place, and I begin to look at how can I train more people that can be in that area. We have a lot of youth that are unemployed now. How can we actually use graduates and so on and so forth, get them more interested in the agricultural value chain and involved and so on and so forth. And then how can we now begin to look at sustainable things within the fashion industry? So that is just one. But then when you look at it again from another point of view, if I'm going to build a house today as a youth, maybe right now where I am, I will first of all, as they say, you count the cost. Can I afford a bungalow? Am I looking at a duplex? Can I build this? Is it even a self-contained I'm going to do? Do I even have the land? If I don't have the land, there are a lot of businesses now that have started pay-as-you-go kind of lands. You pay a little at a time. So I begin to plan in that regard. The economy is not conducive. I can't afford to build a house, but I can afford small investments to pay for a land. After that, small investments to begin to build that house. So for everything you are doing, you need to look at what is feasible. You need to understand the policies around your industry. You need to look at what your network. So if I'm a lawyer, I'm in the Nigerian Bar Association, for example, what can we do? What are some of the things we can push and advocate for that will affect policies that will make that will push legislature laws to make things more conducive for businesses and all that. So there's a lot that needs to be done, but don't look at it holistically. Begin to break them into small blocks, and as you defeat one block, you look at the next one and so on and so forth until you are able to get to the finish line.
Thank you so much. That was really helpful. Okay. So we're going to go into the Flutterwave session. Then we'll address about 5 more questions. Like I said, we may not be able to get to everyone's questions, but I'm just going to allow Jola to take it from here. She is the product manager for Flutterwave Store. Hello, Jola.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. That was a fantastic session by Mrs. Hansatu Adegbite. Thank you so much, Ma. So as we know, e-commerce is great for the environment in that it saves you the petrol that people need to use to go from one store location to another. So I'm going to be showing you how the Flutterwave store works and can help you, scale your business. In 1 second, I will share my screen. First thing is, how do you grow your business using a Flutterwave store? The Flutterwave store is a simple and easy way to launch your e-commerce business without having to worry about building a website, whether you know how to code, all that techie stuff. The benefits of Flutterwave store are, bountiful. I'm just going to highlight a few of the key points. First, like I said, you don't need a website, you don't need to pay hosting fees, you don't need to pay for all of that. You can set up by yourself, so you don't need a developer or a tech guru to help you out with that. You can also generate and track your invoices electronically. So again, you save time and energy writing out on paper who has paid you or what's outstanding, all of that. You're able to create a seamless experience for your customer, meaning that they don't need to wait for you to respond with your account details, with shipping information. They just come on your Flutterwave store and they're good to go. You can also generate a payment link for your customers. So what this means is that if you send this link to your customers anywhere in the world, they're able to look through the options and then see which way they're happy to pay with, whether it's Paga, whether it's the bank transfer, and all of that. The main features of the store are that you get to put as many different variations of your product as possible. So if you have a black pair of shoes for sale, and it also comes in red, blue, green. You're able to list all the color variations in all the different sizes. So if some are patent leather, some are nubuck, you can separate that as well when you're listing. And then you're able to manage your inventory. So if you have just 2 units of one color and then 22 units of another, Flutterwave Store lets you put specific quantities that are available. And then we have an inbuilt fraud management solution. So you don't have to worry about, what these no-gooders are up to in terms of the security of your store. We're also PCI DSS compliant, meaning that when people use their bank cards in this environment, it's 100% safe. And then, like I had said before, there are multiple payment options that you can use. So if your customers would rather go with bank transfer or they prefer to use USSD, there's no limit to the options they can choose from. We also accept local and international cards. Again, this just means that you don't have to think, you don't have to be restricted in the way that you deal with your customers. If you have customers who live in the UK, the US, definitely they can use the cards on your store as well. And then it's a multi-channel platform, meaning that we have the web version and then we have the mobile app version, which makes it easy for you to choose whichever works best for you. And then when you have goodies for your customers, say you want to have like a discount at a particular time of the year, you're able to set the particular level of discount you want. So how did we come about Flutterwave Store? Flutterwave Store was conceived in the wake of the COVID pandemic. So we wanted a way in which our business, our SMEs could continue their businesses, even though they were not physically able to open their outlets. So the Flutterwave Store is super easy to use, like I had said before, and you don't have to be physically present in any one location to be able to use the store. It's e-commerce, you can use it anywhere in the world. So everybody can use the Flutterwave Store. You just have to be a person who has a legitimate business, selling either physical goods or services. And like I said before, there are no boundaries. You can pretty much use it wherever you are in the world. So I'm sure I would like to see a demo on how it does work. And I will show you that in 1 second.
What does the path to success in your online business look like? What are the ingredients needed to succeed in selling online? Here's the obvious things. You need the Flutterwave Store. Here are the ingredients you need to succeed. Great product images, responsive layout, default payments integration, instant notifications, fast checkout, and even delivery. If you have no coding skills or knowledge, you're just as welcome because the Flutterwave Store doesn't require any. You can create a store for your business for free and start selling in 5 minutes or less. Step 1. Visit www.flutterwave.com/store and click on Set up your store for free. Step 2. Complete the sign-up form and click Get Started. Step 3. Check your email inbox for verification mail and click on the link. How you want to accept payments. Step 4. Click on Store in the side menu of your admin panel, fill in the details, and take it online. Step 5. Add products and start selling. Create your own online store today and receive payments from around the world. The Flutterwave Store. Just sign up, list, and sell. It's that easy.
I'm sure everyone is fired up. In terms of how the journey works from when your customer comes to your store all the way until they're done with the purchase, I'd just like to show you that. So the first thing is the customer, by the way, we're using an example, which is JK Fashion. The customer makes a selection from JK Fashion, haven't come to their Flutterwave Store. They then make a selection of what they want, whether it's 2 bags, 2 bottles of perfume, and then proceed to checkout. After that, there's a page that pops up. They put their personal information, which is their name, their full name. Of course, the personal information will also come with delivery information. So this is where they want the product delivered to. And then the customer confirms that all that information is accurate, and then they finally choose the pay now option. After that, like I had said, there's a range of options that come up. There's the USSD, there's bank transfer. The customer just takes a look at it, sees which one they're happy with, clicks on it rather, and then pays using that option. Afterwards, JK Fashion will then receive payment into their wallet. And then JK Fashion subsequently is notified of the full order details in their email. And then, of course, JK Fashion will then pick and pack the items. So you go into your store or into the area where you store your goods, bring out what it is that has been ordered, pack it in whatever packaging material you would tend to, and then dispatch the item using a preferred delivery partner. And then afterwards, you can always go back to the dashboard and see the full information of what has happened. Say in that week, in that month, you just want to see how many people have placed an order, what the trends have been, whether people have ordered mostly on Mondays or at the weekends. The dashboard lets you do all of that. And so there are a few of our merchants that have had a fantastic experience using the Flutterwave Store, and I'd just like to share that with you.
My name is Tosin Lawal. I'm the co-founder of Smoked Barbecue in a Box.
Smoked Barbecue in a Box was founded by myself and Tosin, my wife. We pretty much have a passion for cooking, and it has been a passion that has stayed with us over the years. We grill and cook for ourselves, our family, and our friends pretty much on a regular basis. And that passion to create something good, something unique, is the reason why we thought that we could put this out there, and have the larger populace experience what we experience as our family.
At Smoked Barbecue Box, our philosophy is togetherness and family values, which is the reason why we created the business and we created our products around this business.
At Smoke, though I'm the co-founder, I'm also the pitmaster. So I'm pretty much the one who is in the back end. I love grilling, I love getting my hands dirty. Our typical daily process starts by us prepping from 10 p.m. to about midnight. And from 5 a.m., I wake up to get the grills up. And we are cooking and grilling pretty much up until 2, 3 p.m. during the weekends when we work. Something that I'm passionate about. I don't see it as a job, I see it as a passion, which is the reason why I can stay on my feet for 7, 8 hours doing the same thing time after time, day after day. When we decided to start this business and we realized we had to reach our customers, we had to brainstorm to think of the best way to be able to put our products out there and for our customers to be able to see the products and also create a seamless payment process. That research process led me to identify the Flutterwave Store. It was a no-brainer for us because apart from people locally being able to pay for things that we sell, we've been able to have customers from international, from the US, from the UK, from Qatar, who are also able to pay through the Flutterwave Store, for our products. So being able to utilize this platform for our business, I would say it has been immense and it has actually helped us grow quite rapidly within the few months that we have been around for.
Another important thing that I would say that the Flutterwave Store also helps us with is, the database that we're able to collate from having our clients, being able to reach our clients, and also being able to track how we're doing on the platform and how many orders we're getting. For a small business, I think that it's such a small price to pay for that kind of service you get from a platform like Flutterwave Store. And it's really, really helped our business in the short time we started. At Smoked Barbecue Box, we create
a mouth-watering flame grill from our home to your home.
Right, I'm sure that has really whet your appetite. I'm going to show you another merchant testimonial from Younger Beauty.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Oloko. I am an experienced makeup brow artist and the founder of Adegbite. I got into makeup artistry in 2011 and it's been an amazing journey. Fast forward to 2014, I had an experience where I used an imperial eyeliner, which I couldn't have makeup on for a year, which really was depressing. And in my recovery period, I started to research and try to create my own beauty product that will be premium, cruelty-free, superior, suitable, and reliable for the African woman. And in that, I discovered that the African woman or women were less represented in the sense that foundations, makeup, wearing that suitable for our complexion, the climate, they were not easily accessible to our market. And I decided to bridge the gap. At Yanga Beauty, we offer beauty products and services that empower the African woman to look good, feel confident and comfortable in the way that she presents herself to the world. At Yanga Beauty, we believe that the first requisite to success or to thrive is to confer benefits and the reward will come automatically as a matter of course. We are so big on customer satisfaction. We actually call our customers jewels because they are valuable, precious, and unique in their own right. We're so big on social commerce and we build conversations and connections via our digital channels. So I love the Flutterwave Store because it is super simple to use. I'm able to send that link to our customers and there's like an automatic invoice that just comes in. So even if I'm not around, my corporate support specialist receives that invoice to confirm the payment. And then it's so easy for us to fulfill our orders. So I remember when I was trying to build up my makeup kit and I had to buy like a big eyeshadow palette, which didn't quite turn out well. And that encouraged me to make our own eyeshadow palettes, just putting the key colors there and liners. And I had a conversation with one of our jewels and she was sharing how she loved the eyeshadow palette because it was just exactly what she needed. That was so encouraging to read because it just meant that we were actually fulfilling a need in that time. One of the biggest challenges would have to be accepting international payments. I mean, we will get requests, do you have a retail partner in the US? Do you have a retail partner in Africa or Ghana? And it was so frustrating that we had this product, but we couldn't, accept payments for them. And when we found Flutterwave, it was just like a breakthrough moment for us. So we're able to accept, different currencies on one platform, which is just mind-blowing and just, we experienced so many challenges. I don't think that receiving money should be one. So finding Flutterwave has just, solved that problem a whole lot and just simplified our payments and operations here in Africa.
Okay. So there are some exciting new features that we're going to have on the Flutterwave store that will make it even more, delightful for you to use. And these include a trackable last mile delivery solution. So what we're going to do is be able to make it possible for the merchants and the customers, so that's people who have done the shopping now, to be able to track the status of their respective orders. This could make life, even 100 times easier. We're also going to have a digital ad management solution. So this means that you don't have to be a digital marketing expert or an SEO expert. We're going to have an inbuilt method for you to be able to do advertisements right there on the dashboard. So watch out for that. And then we're going to have ratings and reviews. So obviously we believe that once you come on board, you'll be stellar merchants. And so when people purchase from you, they like the experience, they're going to be able to, give thumbs up and then give the rating. So what this does is, if you are a shining star, you want everyone to see that, of course. So the higher the ratings you have, the more boosting you will get, and then the more guarantee for customers to then shop from you. So that's something we're excited about. And on this journey, you know, when you do have a store, you do not walk alone, as you are all aware. You are on this webinar because we are trying to provide resources and tools that you would use to grow your business. So there will be bi-monthly sessions, like Wendy had said at the beginning of the call. So that would just help you have some community and some guidance as you go along. So in summary, what Flutterwave Store aims to achieve is just simplifying the process for you. There doesn't have to be the DM for price. There doesn't have to be the delay that can, you know, come up when people will need your account details but haven't received it. The Flutterwave Store is an e-commerce solution that lets people go on there, place an order right there and then, and you know that process is short and sweet. On that note, this is the end of the session. I look forward to any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jola. That was very, very helpful. And the videos really made us, you know, see what the actual businesses are saying. So we're going to go into the questions. The first question is, like I said, so we're about 3 minutes over time. I just want to say this now. We're about 3 minutes over time. And so I'm going to try and keep it to about 3 questions that we can answer. First question is, what's the difference between Flutterwave and Barter?
Okay, so Flutterwave is different from Barter in that Barter is our retail product for consumers. So if you just need to sign up and get a virtual card, you're able to use Barter to buy products from, you know, global brands. You're able to use Barter to transfer money from, you know, to friends and family from one country to another. Flutterwave has solutions that are for businesses. This is not to say that individuals cannot use it, but we do have the Flutterwave for Business platform that helps you as a business take advantage of many of the solutions we have, where we have the store, we have the invoicing, we have, you know, payment plans, we have the way in which you can send payment links and, you know, pay for airtime, your DSTV subscription, all of that. So that can happen on our Flutterwave for Business dashboard. Whereas with Barter, I mean, you can transfer money from one point to the other within one country to another. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you so much, Jola. So the next question is, what are the seller charges on Flutterwave?
Okay, so what we do is we don't collect any commissions. So you would have the same transaction fees as someone who were just doing a payment transfer, which is about 1.1%.
1.4% in Nigeria.
Sorry, 1.4 for Nigeria, exactly. Since it's, okay, yes, so it's the same as the payment charges. So there's no extra subscription fee that you have to pay. Yeah, just wanted to highlight that. Thanks, Wendy.
Yes. So we also have a payment pricing page, which you can go on flutterwave.com/pricing. So you can see our transaction charges as it applies to your country. So it's it basically is, it depends on your country and your location, but we just charge you your transaction processing fee. We don't charge you an additional cost to own a Flutterwave store beyond the transaction processing fee. I want to say the last question that we can answer is, I think these are 2 similar questions, so you can just answer it in one. Can someone who offers a service also have a store on Flutterwave? And then the second question is, what does Flutterwave have for NGOs, which I think is a service, so we can, yeah.
Okay, so yes, someone who has a Flutterwave account can definitely sign up on the store. Like Wendy said, we do not charge a separate fee for that. So it's one of the tools that is, you know, in our dashboard where you can take advantage of. In terms of what we have in store for NGOs, we currently make it possible to send payment links. So what those payment links do is that when people want to make donations, you can send that link to them, and then they choose the method that is most convenient, whether they want to pay by card or bank transfer. They can do that. Does that answer the question, Wendy?
Yes, but I'm just going to add some color to also what Flutterwave has for NGOs. So it depends on what the NGO is doing. Flutterwave Store may not be the solution specifically for your NGO, but we do have other products and features available for Flutterwave for Business that you can utilize. So if you want to receive donations as an NGO, you can generate a payment link which you can share with your community and investors and people that want to donate to the NGO. This is possible right now on Flutterwave. You just create your Flutterwave account and then go on your dashboard and create your payment link. You don't need to have a website to do that. You just need to have a verified account on Flutterwave to be able to do this. The second thing is you can use our invoices as well. You can use invoicing to be able to receive payments as an NGO. And then also we have Flutterwave checkout. So it's quite a few things that you can use. You don't have to have a website. We think about businesses at literally every stage of growth. So as a freelancer or as an individual, an entrepreneur, you can have your Flutterwave payment links, your invoicing, or you can have Flutterwave Store as well. So I believe that we've answered that question. Someone is asking, how easy is it to make a transfer from your Flutterwave to your bank account? It's extremely easy. It literally takes, you just go to your dashboard, you go to transfers, you do a transfer, and it takes maybe a total of like 2 minutes. It's very easy. And you see, you can see the transaction go through. You can check your dashboard in like 2 seconds and you see that it's a successful transaction. So it's easy to do so. And then also, if you prefer for us to settle into your bank account, that is something that can be done as well. So you don't necessarily have to do it manually. But we do know that some businesses prefer to receive the payments in their Flutterwave wallet and then do the transfers by themselves because they want to make business payments to other people. Okay, so we are officially at the end of our webinar today. I'm really sorry if we were not able to answer your questions. First of all, huge thanks to Mrs. Hansatu for joining us today. I see that you've answered some of our questions already in the chat function. Thank you so much. This was very helpful for us. And thank you so much to Jola as well. We really appreciate your presence here. This was very, very impactful and insightful. So like I said earlier, we recorded this, and so it will be available on our YouTube. I'm just going to allow Mrs. Hansatu to say one or two things. How do you want us to follow you, to keep in touch with you? And then we'll take it from there.
Thank you so much, Yewande, Jolade, and then Sheung. Sheung was a fantastic prompter. She was really on my case. So thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I want to thank all the participants for logging on. Very important. It's not easy to pull you out on a Monday morning, but I want to encourage everybody here. There's nobody that doesn't have the ability to build a sustainable business. It shouldn't be just about you. It should outlive you. I really appreciate Flutterwave for creating a platform that makes it easy for SMEs to be able to scale up their businesses by being able to sell worldwide. I will encourage every single one of you to sign up to Flutterwave. I'm sure their contacts are there in case you need more information, and you can go on all their social media handles. I will encourage all of us, don't just attend these things and not act on it. There should always be action. I love the fact that they've talked about they're introducing their ads management platform, which is to your advantage. You can advertise, and then who knows, you'll be the one featured maybe tomorrow or next year, and so on and so forth on the Flutterwave channel. So I really will encourage everybody, make Flutterwave a partner. I'm not advertising for them. I'm talking about what I have seen to be valuable for your business and sustainability. And it's free of charge, it's free to sign up and all that. So I think it's laudable, and I will encourage everybody to embrace that. I wish you all a fantastic week ahead, but above all, I wish you all a sustainable journey for your business. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jola. Thank you, everyone. And have a wonderful week.